Hello, everyone. My name is Abhi. Welcome to Go with Abhi podcast. Today we have Damola all the way from Africa, and he has a beautiful story to share as to how he got into digital marketing. And I'm really, really happy to bring him on this episode. So stay tuned till the end of it. Hey, Damola, how are you doing today? Welcome to my podcast.
Hey, Abby. Yeah, we finally have this meeting. Yeah, finally.
So I wanted to ask you, can you give me a brief overview of your background and highlighting the aspects that led you to digital marketing? And even if you have to share something about your career before digital marketing.
Okay, I think I'll start with my career before digital marketing. So prior to digital marketing, I was actually a sales engineer, and that I had been doing for about 12, 13 years. I have mostly worked in the oil and gas industry. And I was basically, so I started initially with pure field engineering before I now moved over to sales engineering. So, but I think it wasn't until 2018 when I actually started showing more interest. So I had always been fascinated with sales, with marketing, with online marketing, with tech generally. So I think that for me was a natural progression. So by 2018 was when I really started taking more interest in it. I wasted lots of money on courses because back then I was just buying anything I saw online. But I think over time I started to get my groove. So it wasn't until 2019 when I took it more seriously. And then I got my first remote job, which was as an SEO link builder. So I was working with this company based out of the US. I was with them for about 6, 7 months. And then, yeah. So it was after that experience, I started diving deeper and deeper. By 2021, COVID now happened. Yeah, I think that was actually when, yes, I realized, you know what? Because the oil and gas industry where I worked, of course, it was hit a lot. COVID hit the industry real bad. So at that point, I decided to just follow through with digital marketing. And then once again, I took up more courses. I think the course for me that really stood out eventually was the Rich plus Niche course, because prior to the Rich plus Niche course, so most of the courses I had been taking were mostly focused on tactics, how to run ads, how to run Google ads, Facebook ads, SEO, all sorts. But Rich plus Niche for me, really the biggest takeout for me was the mindset change. Like the way I looked at digital marketing changed. So I enrolled for the 6 month cohort, and the experience has been fantastic. The people I have met, like I said, it was a total mindset change for me compared to the skills I had acquired before. Rich plus Niche gave me new skills, new access to tool sets, how to approach clients, how to approach projects. Yeah. So I think for me, that was the biggest takeaway. So anyway, to cut the long story short, here I am today. It's 2023 and I'm still doing digital marketing.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And by cohort, do you mean that you joined the full
Yes.
stack marketing lab?
Yeah. It was the full stack marketing lab. And I think I was the only one from Nigeria, but I had there were colleagues of mine from the US, from the UK. Yeah, I think the mix was actually it was diverse, and Rich actually made it very friendly. And yeah,
He's an approachable person indeed.
very approachable dude. Yeah, great guy.
Thank you so much for the background, Damola. This clears the air as to where did you start your journey from and what are you doing today. So,
Yeah.
how many years have you been working in digital marketing and what were some key milestones in your career so far?
Okay, so I think professionally, I will say so part time. Like I said, I started in 2018, but back then it was still part time because I still had a full time job. Part time, I was doing it for about 2, 3 years, but professionally now it's been about 2 years. And some of the major milestones I achieved was so because of my background in what's it called, industry, manufacturing. I gravitated more towards B2B clients working in that space and actually got some very good opportunities. Manufacturers who were planning to go online. So I actually did lots of content writing. I started with content writing really. So I was writing mostly for B2B manufacturers because they also liked the fact that I had a background in engineering and then I also knew digital marketing. So I one of the major milestones I remember. So remember I talked about a company I worked with in the US. Yeah, so they were a language translations company. And really, my work back then was to help them get links, good quality links. And yeah, I got some very solid links, like links which I never thought I would ever get. I even got them in mention. I got them in mention on one of the top industry blogs back then, one of the top marketing industry blogs. I got them, I got them, I got them a link from even Harvard University. I actually got them, yeah, I got them a dotted
Wow.
link from Harvard University. And all these links I'm talking about, I didn't have to pay for anything. I didn't use any black hat method or what. I just provided value. I actually came up with a strategy at the time and I got very solid links because back then the focus we had then was quality of the links and not just quantity of the links. Of course, I always got offers from different providers. Oh, we'll sell you links. We will place you links on this website. Just pay us $50. But we really didn't believe in that. For us, it was more quality. We'd rather have one quality link than have 10 bad links. Yeah. So for me was a major milestone at the time.
Wow. I didn't know that you had so much of background in link building as well.
Yeah. I started with link build. Like I said, I was doing everything. Websites, link. No, I really didn't have any direction. It was until I now got to Rich Plus when I now started thinking more longer term. Like it's not just about tactics. Because if you keep following tactics, oh, what's the latest trend? What's the latest hack on Instagram or the latest hack on TikTok? You will just be working overtime without any strategy, no plan. So that's, like I said, was what Rich actually provided in the lab. Yeah.
And that's a lot of resources that one can utilize if they are getting started with the freelance journey. I've seen those resources and I was mind blown when I saw those resources for the first time. So if we talk about the primary factors, what were those that influenced your decision to pursue a career in digital marketing?
All right. So I think for me it was really more personal. So I'm married, 2 kids. So I think at that point in time, hey, my kids were already getting older and obligations started to change, started to shift. So my plans changed. My longer term plan. Back then, when it was just me, I could just make me back then in 2018. I was still a bachelor basically. So I really didn't give it a thought. But the older I got and when the kids came, it just changed everything. So I started to think more longer term. Yes, finance is important, but freedom too is also important. I'm a family guy. So I also wanted something that, I don't want to spend the next 5, 10 years of my life working offshore on some platform, working hundreds of kilometers away offshore, surrounded by sharks. So that wasn't the life I wanted. I wanted to be able to spend more time with family. Yeah, for me, those are really the things that matter the most. So, and digital marketing for me was what provided that opportunity.
I completely feel what you're saying right now. Those were the factors. One of the most important factors was remote income. And as you might already know, a lot of Indians, we Indians tend to stay with our parents and grandparents, right? And
Yeah.
for me to stay with my parents, I've been away from them for 12 years since my school. And I wanted to get back to them, living with them. And because I live in a small town, there were a lot less job opportunities and they didn't pay well. And I thought I had more potential. Digital marketing was my rescuer for me to live remotely in my small town and work with people internationally and also network with people internationally, like I am talking to you right now. So I completely feel the emotions and the reasons that you had to get started with digital marketing, and it definitely provides a lot of freedom and flexibility. And by freedom, I don't just mean freedom of choice, freedom of time, but also a freedom of doing a job for your bread and butter, as well as having side income with a few clients and gradually transitioning into a full-time freelancer or full-time client work. And then you transition into creating your digital assets, maybe YouTube, maybe some product, maybe some course, and providing value to people that way. So I believe this is one of those things that not just you and me, but everyone should get a taste of. It is a
Definitely.
beautiful career that I love. So, along with this line, to what extent have you combined your formal education with self taught methods in honing your digital marketing skills?
So because I have a background in engineering and sales, so for me, whatever it is I'm doing always has to be tied to the bottom line, revenues. So I think I was able to apply that same mindset to digital marketing, to whatever it was. So whatever it is I'm doing, whether it is social media marketing, running ads, generating leads, the bottom line is very, very key. We want to make money at the end of the day. And like I said, because of my engineering background, so I'm also quite analytical. So I work a lot with data, with numbers. So I was able to actually transform all those skills into digital marketing. So yeah, so when folks tell me things like they ran this campaign, the campaign was so successful, I'm more interested in, okay, numbers. What are the numbers? Let me see your numbers, your rates. I want to see your conversion rates, your open rates. Then even your bottom line. Was this your target? Because it's different when you tell me you made $10,000. How about if your target was actually 20K? So yes, $10,000 profit, but you still didn't meet up with that. So there's still a shortfall of $10,000. So those are the kind of things I'm actually very focused on. So yeah, I was able to bring in all those skill sets from my engineering and analytical background into what I'm currently doing.
This definitely tells us that digital marketing is a nice blend of art and science, like Rich talks about.
Yeah.
And science also talks about numbers. And many digital marketers think that creativity is enough for being a marketer, but I believe we also need to understand what numbers stand for and how do you read them in marketing, because numbers are not only for finance background people, they are also for marketers.
Yes.
I agree with that. So, can
Yeah.
you share some experiences or methods that have contributed to your growth in digital marketing?
Okay. So I think learning, continuous learning, it never stops. Our industry keeps changing every day. A new SaaS tool is released almost every day. Now we have AI. AI has revolutionized things, has disrupted so many things. So you can't just be stuck with the knowledge you learned yesterday. You just have to keep learning. What I do, so to start with, thankfully, once again, we have our rich plus niche community, which I think is one of the best communities out there. I have actually, I still belong to a couple of other communities, but none as engaging as the Rich Plus Niche community. So trust me, everything from AI to copywriting to email marketing to SEO, etc. It's stuff we constantly discuss. So this also puts me on my toes. So for example, there are days where Rich might just drop this info, or somebody else in the group just drop something like, hey guys, I tried this out. You guys should. So stuff like that. So I think for me, it's just, you have to keep learning. You have to keep learning. Yeah. So I think that's the only way to stay relevant in this industry. Yeah.
I get you. So, you said learning and community were two aspects in
Learning.
terms of actually growing in digital marketing. That's what contributed to your growth.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, could you describe some of the clients, the real work that you have worked with, and the projects that stand out to you in terms of innovation or success?
All right. So right now I will talk about the more recent ones. So over time, I have actually niched down to email marketing, and I work mostly with coaches and course content creators. So basically, I'm working more in a direct response capacity. So really, the two services, the two offers I have for them are launches. I help them do launches, product launches or relaunches, and then I also help them come up with evergreen email marketing strategies. So that actually refers to sending out emails every day. The strategy behind selling every day. I'm a firm believer. I'm not like other. There are some business owners who find it shy. They will tell you, oh, they don't want to disturb their clients or subscribers with emails every day. Or they don't want people to subscribe. Whoever would unsubscribe will unsubscribe. But you also don't want people who won't buy stuff from you to be on your list, because you are paying for it. You're actually paying for them being on the list. So if they don't want to buy, take them out. Get someone else in who's ready to buy. So that's what I advise people, man. Sell your stuff. So trust me, you might have all the best skills in the world. People are not just people won't come over to your door and start to knock. We want to buy. No, you have to be out there. But of course, you also want to do it in a way that is, that still shows empathy. You shouldn't all be about give me money, give me money. So for me, in working with coaches and course content creators, before I even choose to work with any of them, of course, I do my research. Your offer has to be such, it really solves a problem. Yeah, so I have actually been able to record some successes. I still did one. This was sometime last month. It was for a coach here in Nigeria. He trained people on closing sales. I was able to enroll 3 students for him in about 7 to 10 days. And
Wow.
the offer was about 1,500, $1,500. Yeah. So I was able to get that. So basically, there are different strategies that I actually use in this thing. But to start with, you must have an active list. You must have a list. Your offer has to be good. Your list should be anything not less than 1,000. And of course, you must also have presence on social media and across different social media platforms too. So yeah, so that's the most recent win which I have had. I currently have a campaign ongoing with another client of mine. He's in the relationship space. The feedback has actually been good. In fact, beyond the email marketing, another thing I also help them out with is even helping them get the offers together, really come up with an offer. So, for example, for the guy I'm currently working with, he has just one call offer, and the call offer, I think it goes for about 5,000 USD. And his funnel is lead magnets come in and then nurture you till you buy that. And I'm like, look, a better way to do that is let's start with 3 offers. Try and introduce 3 more offers. So you currently have a high ticket offer of 5K. People are not going to buy a 5K product from you the first time. It will take a while, a long time. So guess what? You still need money to run your business. You still need your cash flow every now and then. So I advised him, let us create a lower priced and a mid-priced offer. A low price offer of about $49, mid price of about 399, 497. We can also do. And then let's start to bump them up. Make sure those lower and mid-priced offers like a natural progression. So if I start with the low-priced offer, it has to be such that I will still get value even at that price. I will still get value and I will want to have more. And then that way we can now move them to the mid-sized, and then from there we can now move them to the higher tickets. So right now we're almost done with the low-priced offer. It's going to be a 7-day email challenge. It's a course which I actually helped him put together. So yeah, so even for me, it's been a learning process too, because working with different niches, you just learn new stuff. There were some things about relationships I never knew until I started working with this dude. So I had to do my research and yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome. I wanted to ask about this particular experience of yours when it comes to email marketing.
Okay.
Why did you choose it particularly more than any other aspect of services?
All right. So the truth is, look, once again, and I think this has to do with what I said earlier about, my background in sales. And for me, whatever it is you're doing, the bottom line is key. I like working mostly with clients that already have some level of awareness, like more sophisticated clients. So these are clients that are already, so for example, for me to work with you as an email marketer means you definitely have an email list. And for you to have an email list also shows you believe in investing in your business, because email list building is not cheap. It's something that takes time and something that requires investment and effort. I don't want to work with clients who I have to start educating, who I have to start convincing. It is not my job to convince you. It is not my job to convince you. You want to get paid as a client. I also want to get paid as your provider. So for me to get paid, you also have to make money. But we both, first of all, need to be aligned. So yeah, so for me, that was really the motivation. I wanted to work more at the bottom of the funnel. Yeah. because, like I said, top of funnel videos, blogs, articles, contents, except you are working for a client that sees the value. But you see, these days, when you find out, many clients are so impatient. Oh, we want to start making money immediately. It takes a while, especially when you're working in a very sophisticated niche. You have to, first of all, nurture your people, educate them. So, thing is, are they going to be patient enough to wait that long? So, for me, yeah, I work with clients who actually want instant results. And there are times when I also offer them some risk reversal, because that's also another thing these days too, guarantees. These days, and of course, there's also the global recession and everything. So clients are becoming more impatient, budgets are becoming smaller. And another thing too is, like I said earlier, AI too has disrupted so many things. So the value of good content writing has even dropped, because right now clients will tell you that, hey, I don't like what you wrote. ChatGPT can write something better. So you have to start negotiating. So I don't want that. I don't want that. Yeah. So I think for me, that was really why I just decided to stick to email.
Beautifully explained.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about digital marketing, a lot of people feel, wow, it looks good from afar, but when they get closer to it, they understand the cost that they are paying to be in this career. So all I'm talking about is challenges. I wanted to ask you if you could describe some of the most challenging aspects of this career, and have you prepared to tackle them, and how do you plan to tackle them basically?
Yeah. I think I had that same mindset too before I actually started. I thought it was, hey, digital marketing. It looks so easy. Digital marketing is hard. Digital marketing is just like any other job. Whatever job you think, digital marketing. So one of the challenges is, because the barrier to entry is low, you have too many people, in digital marketing. So that has also, so when it comes to, let's say, client acquisition, that has also kind of made it hard, because you just have to stand out one way or the other. You can no longer just call yourself a YouTube content creator. Your offer, it's all about, everything now is all about offer. You just have to have a USP that will make you stand out. So even for me, while I call myself an email marketer, I still go beyond providing email. I help with product, with launches. I help clients with things like email deliverability, because deliverability too is a big problem for many clients. I help them with that, because if you keep ending up in that nasty Google promotions tab, you're not selling anything. Nobody is seeing your email. So yeah. So to answer your question, the first thing I would say is the saturation. There are just too many of us out there. So, right now, before you can get a good client, you actually must have a solid offer. So that's one. And then two, once again, because of the low barrier to entry, you now have many gurus, or people who call themselves gurus. Now you have every Tom, Dick, and Harry coming up with courses and coaches and programs. So there's so much information overwhelmed. To solve that problem personally, so I'll start with the second one I mentioned. To solve that problem, I always tell people, if you are new to digital marketing, some people will say they work better with DIY, do it yourself. They just buy a course, learn it. And I used to think that way before, but honestly, look, if you can afford it, just try and get a mentorship thing. Get someone who has walked that path before. Trust me, it's going to cut your journey down. You don't want to waste your time, because while you're still trying to learn these things on your own, before you know it, like I said, new tools come out every day. So before you know it, whatever it is you have learned becomes outdated. Every now and then you want feedback. And look, that's the best way to learn digital market. You can't learn it on your own. So work with a mentor, get someone who is an expert in this field, someone who will be ready to take your questions and give you answers. So someone who is practicing what they actually teach. So these are some of the things you need. Be part of a community. You can't get that necessarily with DIY. You want to be in that community. You want to be able to learn. You want to remain accountable to others too. So yeah, I think for me, that is something to, like I said, the Rich Plus Niche investment that was actually my first mentorship program. And it's helped. It's greatly helped. So I know whenever I am lost, I can always just reach out to Rich. Hey, Rich, I need help with this. And Rich will always be there for us. Because one of the things, for example, Rich actually put us through was putting together our offers, helping us stand out. Of course, you can easily download your Alex or Moses $100 million offers and all of that. But look, it's one thing reading the book, it's another thing putting it into practice. Many of these things Rich actually taught us are things that have been tested, are things Rich himself has applied in his business. And I think for me, that for me was the uniqueness of the program. And all the stuff Rich taught is actually what I'm starting to practice. Every now and then, with all those resources, Rich shared with me, I always still go back, test this offer. If this offer works, there are times when I'll send Rich a personal DM. Rich, hey, I have this offer I'm trying to test out. What do you think about it? These are the things you can actually get with mentorship. And once again, if you want to go into digital marketing, please stick to one mentor. There are too many things online. You have stuff on YouTube. You have resources, free this, free that. You have Udemy. You have all sorts. And trust me, different people say different things. There are different ways to achieve these things. So which is why I'm like, look, stick to one guy, stick to one mentor at a time, one course at a time, and follow through. And trust me, you will definitely see the result at the end of the day.
Beautiful suggestion. I was only expecting challenges, but at the end of your answer, you also mentioned about sticking to one thing. I believe it's really important because of so much noise out there. People in my network who want to get into this industry, who have been into corporate for too long, around a decade or more, they're confused as to how do they get into it. And when I tell them that I have this sort of course that I went through a few years ago and I'm still in that community, I still get value out of it from new people coming in, right? So you get that thing which is not DIY, you get that thing which is long term, and you have access to the person who has been teaching digital marketing for such a long time. It's a beautiful experience instead of someone who just comes in some trendy season and goes off in 2 years time and you don't see them anymore online. You know what I mean? That is the reason why Rich stood out to me on YouTube, and because of his organic approach, because of his genuine approach, I was the one to buy the course. To tell you a small backstory about it, Damola, I'm not sure if I'm going to put this in recording or not, but I wanted to just share this with you right now.
Yeah.
When I was in my full time marketing job in Ghana, I was the only marketing personnel over there. And I was supposed to do everything for them. Everything. You talk about anything in digital marketing, I was supposed to do that over there. And it was a little bit of overwhelm. And I thought I should buy a structured course and learn even more as to how do I apply these things, because I've watched too many YouTube videos by then in a few years' time. And I knew that, okay, how to implement Facebook ads, how to create a WordPress website. I knew all of these skills, but I did not know how to put all that together to blend it to get a single result for a business. So I was a little bit confused and I used to go round and round. End of the day, I thought I should go ahead and buy a course. I already knew about Rich since 6 months or 7 months at that time. And I approached him on Instagram and I told him that I do this and I am thinking about buying your course. And he said, yeah, go ahead. And when I told him that I'm from Ghana, he gave me a discount. At that point of time, his course used to sell for $750. And that was a hefty price for someone coming from India or Ghana. He gave me a hefty discount. And I thought, wow, this guy is giving me a discount. This guy is giving me additional courses as a bonus. Is there something fishy over here? Should I really buy this? But because I watched so many of his YouTube videos already, I knew that he knows what he's talking about. He is a genuine guy. I tried to find some of his reviews on YouTube and I saw some random guys who had 15 subscribers, 5 subscribers, 20 views on their review video, and they were genuinely sharing their experience. I thought if people like them are doing this, that means that Rich is not investing money in fake reviews. These are
Incredible.
genuine people talking about genuine things. So I gave it a shot. And to this day, that small investment, why do I say small now, is because it has given me at least 50x returns in terms of learnings as well as earnings from the community, let
Yeah.
alone other network that I had on my own.
Funny enough, the same thing too was for me because I think at that point in time, I was just tired of seeing all these gurus driving Lamborghinis and Ferraris and showing off. And Rich was the complete opposite. In fact, at some point, I was like, I was expecting to see, those pictures you see online, chilling by a Lamborghini or a Mercedes Benz. I have a Rolex wristwatch. Rich wasn't that guy. This was just a simple guy in a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, you know.
Trust me, yeah. I when I saw him in Serbia and when I was meeting him in person, all those meetings were blessing in disguise. I mean, I learned so much about simplicity from him.
Yeah,
Let's get on back to the podcast.
no problem.
So looking back, Damola, tell me, are you satisfied with with choosing this career path, and what would you have done differently if you started over?
Yeah, I have no regrets. And yeah, if I were to have done anything else, maybe I would have been a music producer. Yeah, I think I would have been a music producer. I actually still have interest in doing that. So I might probably just do that as a hobby. But yeah, I think for me, digital marketing has helped. Like, beyond even making money, it's just the fact you can help people solve their problems. I've done lots of pro bono work, free stuff for people close to me. And when I see the results, there are some things which, Abby, there are some things which we take for granted as digital marketer. Like there are some things which you would think, hey, people, anybody should know this. You'll be shocked. A friend approached me recently. She was so sad. She paid some guy to help her, listen, set up a Facebook page. She paid someone to help set up a Facebook page because she needed to run ads. So the guy, first of all, charged her separately to set up the Facebook page. I was mad. So some of this, so there are some things which I also used to take for granted, but now I'm starting to realize that, you see, trust me, there are people out there willing to pay. Full disclosure. Let me give you an example. Full disclosure. For example, the other day, a friend and I were just talking randomly. She was complaining about there's this very popular game kids now play on their tablets. I don't want to mention it, but you might know that game. Like kids are so addicted to that game in question. So the game enabled real time chatting, and I think that for me was a problem. So what I now found out from that discussion was many parents, especially here in Nigeria, didn't even know how to figure out that thing. Like I heard of parents who had problems with, they had strangers chatting up their kids on that app. So I was like, really? So guess what, Abby? I was just testing, just fooling around. There was a day I decided to, you know what? Let me just get on YouTube. Let me know more about this app and how to address the concerns of these parents, especially the whole security and privacy and stuff. I wrote a 5-page book, like a guide, how to do this. I ran ads to it. I made money. I mean, it wasn't much, but I was shocked. People actually paid for it. In fact, people actually started reaching out to me personally that, yeah, like they wanted more stuff from me. They wanted more help from me, which is why, like I said, digital marketing will just expose you to like things. It will open up your mind, to like opportunities you never even imagined. I can just have an idea right now, quickly get on my Canva, quickly come up with an ebook, run ads to it just to test. And yeah, so these are some of the things, the advantages that digital marketing will actually provide.
That is beautifully explained. What we talk about in this community is you don't have to just be a marketer for other people. You can be a marketer for your own business as well. You can start your own business. And your example was one of those. Like you thought about an idea, you saw a problem, you addressed it in a small ebook and sold it out because you knew how to run ads, you knew how to do the digital marketing magic. And end of the day, you made some money. And that was an example that it works.
Abby, do you know?
Proof.
Sorry for interrupting. I didn't even use a sales page. Do you know what I use for my sales page? I use a Google Doc for my sales page. And I just put the link there, purchase link. I'm telling you, like these things work. Just make sure the offer, once again, what happened was I listened. I listened and I took notes of all the concerns. So by the time I wrote out the sales copy and everything, they didn't even care about the aesthetics. It was what I put out there, it was addressing their need. Yeah. So once you can master that, and that's what digital marketing will teach you. Trust me, once you can master that, once you can master human psychology, there's nothing you can't sell. There's no amount of money you cannot make.
Right, right. So instead of going for a marketing degree, I would suggest anyone now these days to go for either communications degree or psychology degree and learn about these aspects. And end of the day, you can just learn about the core marketing concepts on your own with free education, and
Yeah,
then go buy a course or be a part of a community for what's going on in today's market and
yeah.
learn what's happening today. I wanted to ask you about your goals. We have talked about your past, you have talked about the present. Now, I wanted to talk about your future. What are your immediate and long term goals in digital marketing, and how do you plan to achieve them?
All right. So for me personally, the next 4 5 years, I see myself stepping into a more senior role, probably like a CMO, or so that's a chief marketing officer or a CRO, a conversions rates optimizer. At that level, I want to be able to confidently run campaign or from beginning to end, from customer acquisition all the way to retention. That's what I see myself doing.
Great. So, what you're essentially telling is if you want to reach somewhere, just get in touch with people who have already reached there and they're living over there. And
Exactly.
eventually you download them into you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Beautiful. All right. So, is there anything else that you wanted to share today apart from all these things that you have already shared with people?
So I think it's just for people to manage their expectations. Yeah, I think you need to manage your expectations a lot because, like I said earlier, there's a lot online. You will hear all sorts, you will hear all sorts of promises. People will make all sorts of bold claims, 0 to 100K in 30 days. You see these things, how to make 6 figures from affiliate marketing. You will see these things. And like I said, just manage your expectations. I'm not saying these things are not possible. I'm not saying they are not possible. Don't quote me wrong. But once again, like I said earlier, digital marketing is just like any other job. You need to crawl before you can walk, before you can fly. It's the same thing. The same thing that applies to digital. You need to learn. The digital marketing itself is broad. So you need to first of all have an idea of digital marketing itself and all the different aspects of it. And then niche down. Try and narrow in on, let's say, three skills, three core skills. It could be copywriting, media, YouTube, social media. But first of all, understand digital marketing itself from end to end. And then try and set like two, three core skills and become a master at it. It will take a while. It will take a while of consistency, of learning. Yeah.
That is an honest take that I saw today. A lot of people misunderstand by these funky ads that they see online about take this course and become a millionaire, or even if not a millionaire, start earning 10K in 10 days after you take this course. It may be achievable for certain percentage of people that are taking that course. Let's say 1,000 people buy that course, maybe a few people, like three, four, five people will be able to achieve it because of some or the other background that they already have. But rest of them have been misled. So managing expectations is a great tip. Thank you, Damola, so much for your time today. If people want to find you online, where can they find you to get in touch with you?
All right. I can be reached out to on Instagram, hire Damola. So that's hire, like hire me for a job. Yeah. So just look me up, hire Damola. You'll see it there, the email with the whole email marketing bio. And then LinkedIn too is another place where I'm quite active.
All right. So I'll mention these links down in the description for every one of you to get in touch with Damula for any reason that you might want to. I know that he is one of those people in the community who recently joined a few months ago, but he has so much knowledge and experience from the past that can help you guide and can give you clarity if you have any questions regarding getting into digital marketing or even about the community. The reason I share the contact of all these people is for you to understand who are these people, where do they come from, why did they buy that particular course, and why are they so active in that community. And for you to be part of that community, when you know the people over there, It gives you a reason to take action. And all we want is for you to take action and get to the next small step, the next baby step. That's it. Thank you, Damola, so much for your time today. And thank you, everyone, for watching today's episode. I'm signing off and see you in the next podcast with another guest. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
All right. Thanks, Abby. Have a great day. Bye.